So this is going to be our last day of our chicken processing. As some of you know, some of our content was taken down, so here we go. We're going to start all over again. So we have over here, come on.
We have our chicken tractor.
That we run the chicken poultry netting around. Through here, we'll just grab them. It makes it really accessible to grab the chicken through these. We have the laying down door, and then a side door that you can reach in and grab them. When we grab the chicken, we hold on to them so they don't do the little funky chicken, because we want to keep them calm through that process before we bring them over. Over here we have the cones where we take the live chicken. These are 2 live chickens. They've not been unalived yet. We hang them upside down while still trying to maintain their wings and letting the blood flow down to the head. I like to make a slit on the jugular coming off of the jaw line. So you'll make a slice here and a slice here. Try not to cut the trach. If you cut the trach, it's actually more of a painful process for the chicken than it is cutting the jugulars to have them bleed out. It usually takes anywhere from 20 to 30 seconds, sometimes shorter on it. You still want that heart to or a little bit longer, but you want that heart to keep pumping to drain that blood out. That way there, it makes for a cleaner bird when you're processing them. So you're probably also wondering why we're using the pine chips. That way there, so we can put it in our compost. Everything is going to be reused. The blood drains in here, then we'll compost it down, put it into our gardens and whatnot. Warning, this will be graphic, so if you're
trigger warning,
if you're squirmish about it, whatnot, this is a live process. So like again, so I have my knife. It's a sharp knife. I like to start on my left side for the cut. So I pull it down. I'm feeling for it, and this is basically where I'm going to go. So right off here at the tip, I'm going to make a quick slice. Not cutting into the trach. From there, after they're done with their unaliving, you want around 150 degrees for these Red Rangers. We'll dump them in. We are looking that these feathers come off with ease. The skin on the legs come off. You continue to dunk it. You don't want to sit in there because that will start to cook your chicken, which you do not want. We're looking for the side feathers off the wings to come off easy, which that did, and then I'm happy with that. So we're going to come over here, get into the yard bird, turn it on, and onto our lawn, so it's not being wasted. In between each bird, we will turn the water off and not leave it running. So you can see it cleans it up pretty well. You're gonna have a little bit of this blood coming from it. That's due to the wings, not the wings, but the feathers within the wing. It will drain out. It's just because they're pulling out. So I'm gonna run this through a little bit longer just to get a little bit of that extra skin off from the feathers. It's kind of a yellowish tint, so kind of want that clean. So what I'm talking about is this right here. This will actually just peel right off when you clean it. You're looking for a nice clean white bird when it's all done, not the yellow all over the skin. So anyway, that's just part of the cleaning process that we'll do. We'll scrape it off in our final details, pull all these little feathers out that the plucker doesn't get. Just give it a scrape the yellow off right here, off the skin. It comes off really easy. We just want to clean that up. We're looking for any type of pin feathers that the plucker didn't get. There is going to be some plucking, hand plucking that you can do just to pull out these little pin feathers that didn't come out. From the plucker, we come over here to the chilling cooler, and it's with ice, and we put the chicken in. That way there we're not cross-contaminating from the killing to the cleaning. So anyway, we're going to begin the day. Well, we'll show you a quick down and dirty way of how we process our bird. After it comes from the scalder, from the plucker into the cooling cooler, we bring it up here to our processing table. Everything's been sanitized. Have your sharp knife and whatnot. So I face my bird this way, 1 to 2 inches off of the breast line here. Just grab a hold of here, then make a little slice. Don't go in too deep because you don't want to cut into the crop. So separate all this tissue and the fascia, and then I'm looking for the trach here. So that's going to be what's running from the respiratory system. So it's going to go down to the lungs. And then off to the side here is going to be the crop. This little line right here is going to be your crop. So this is what's going to be holding all the food that they eat. So you're going to follow that down, digging through the tissue, and it's going to be attached onto the breast. It's going to be sitting up here once we get into it. So you're just going to keep separating it from the skin, the fascia, all the tissue in here, and then right there will be your crop. So it's going to be sitting right here up on the upper part of the breast. Just pull all that. If you pull too hard, it's going to break. So there you go. It's been separated. And then best practice is what I like to do is stick my finger in down between the breasts, going through in this notch inside here, separating all that fascial tissue. That way there, it'll make the cleaning out process a lot easier when you get to the other end. So there's your trach, there's your crop, and that's what I do on this part. Now I'll come through, cut off their feet. What you're going to do is you can see, sorry I should have showed you, right here you're going to be cutting in between the 2 joints, right at this line. If you do it and you just apply a little bit of pressure, it's just going to keep going and going, and then just come from the other side. We'll put that into our little, about 1 inch up here, and then you're just going to slowly slice in to the back end here. Don't go too far in. At this point, when you start to see tissue and fat, you'll just separate that apart to open it. From there, you just start to go by feel, pull things apart. I like to reach up in here to break all the tissue inside of the cavity that's holding all the organs together.
And like a scooping.
Yep, scooping motion. So right there's the heart. Heart's going to be coming out. There you go. And everything else is going to be detached right there. So I'm going to come back up. I'm going to take care of the trach, and then I'm going to cut the crop here. Keep scooping until you get everything loose. And then once you do, you can start to softly pull to bring everything out, the intestines and whatnot. We like to put everything to a spot below us, a holding spot, because that way there, you do not want to have your innards to really mess with, come up here and sit as you're processing all your, processing your chicken, just due to the fact of salmonellas, any other thing like that, especially if you get any kind of fecal matter that might come out. Let's just take it down here. After I clean that part out, I come back up here, and then I will cut around the vent, making sure we do not cut it. You're going to slice down and then flip it around and cut the tail here. Now, if you want to keep the tail, this right here is the oil gland, and what you do is you wouldn't even cut the tail off. You just come in and just cut, and then cut along this way with the tail down at about a 45 and scoop out, and then that will cut off the oil gland if you wanted to keep the tail with it. We have decided with this batch of chickens to cut off the tail. One, it's just easier for us, and two, we just don't really need it. So from there, I'm going to go back in now that I got all the innards taken out, And I'm just going to keep scooping. There's your lung. Lungs are going to be up on the upper part of this rib cage. If you can see up in there, it's kind of hard to see, but you should be able to see all the ribs. There should not be any kind of tissue or whatnot on there. You're just going to keep cleaning along the rib cage, scraping everything out until it's all clean inside.
Do you want to show the lower back part? Right up in the... It can kind of be deceiving. If you get right up in there, you have to scrape it out, clear up against the back.
So right here in the back, see there's more tissue. And what she's talking about is along the whole spine or the whole rib cage. All the way from the top of the carcass, all the way down, should be clean. Dig your fingers into this spot down in here because there's going to be more tissue, more organs that's in that area. At this point, everything has been cleaned out that we need out. Now I just take my sprayer and give it a good rinsing. We're gonna, one, it cleans out the inside. Two, then it lets us know if we have any more tissue, organs that was left behind that didn't come out. There's some connective tissue still in there that I'm just gonna kind of pull out and whatnot. So at this point, let's spray this off really fast. Give it another rinse, just because I can. And this is what the inside of the carcass should look like.
Clean. Nice
and clean. So up in here in this spot, there's a little bit of lung tissue still. So I'm going to reach up in there and pull that out. That's the importance of washing the inside, so you can make sure you get all that out. Now at this point, I'm going to pull the skin off the neck here. Take my scissors, give it a little trim. So now everything is detached. I have a little bit of the skin and fatty tissue still here, but we'll dress that up. I'm going to take my boning scissors, and I'm just going to give it a nice little snip here.
A lot of people will keep the neck, so if you want to keep the neck for your stock, I would suggest it. We're just not doing that this batch. So
then at this point, I'm going to look it all over. See, there's a little bit of the trach left right here. I'm just going to give it clean up this connective tissue, and then pull the rest of that trach out. That's all that was left that didn't come out with it. So just kind of give it a quick look over. Then I run my finger back into the carcass from where everything would be, and then just kind of pull out what should not be there. So these little things is all that's left. I'll just take my scissors here and clean it. It's just fatty tissue, little glands. You know, fat is flavor, but it's up to you how you want to dress your chicken. Other than that, that's kind of the down and dirty of processing this chicken. You might have a few little feathers, a few little micro feathers and whatnot that you can work on plucking. Thank you for the water. So we're going to give it a nice little rinse down here. See if we've missed anything, which everything looks pretty good. Pretty nice and clean. The other thing too, what we like to do is you have these little sharp things when you're bagging them. If you're not careful on this little side wing, it will puncture your bag when you're cleaning or sealing your bags or your chickens into the bag. So we just take this pair of scissors and clip them off. That way there it's not sharp, and then we can have a nice seal of the bag when we bag them up. From there, we put it in its final ice bath with these other chickens, and it will sit there until we get ready to bag them.